Okay, it was a question in my last video about whether or not modern transformers were wired to accommodate modern voltages or not, and if they were different than vintage transformers. This transformer over here is roughly a 1966-67 a Hammond transformer that came out of an old Trainer amplifier. Okay, so it's got plenty of age on it. Okay, here we have the variac, and I got 2 meters going. So what's happening is I got the variac plugged into the mains, and right now, if you look here, this is approximately the wall voltage. It's usually about 121, could be 122, a little less, a little more, but a few tenths of a volt doesn't really mean anything for the purposes of this experiment. So, right now we have this producing 121 volts. Forget about the tenth. I have the filament wires going to this fluke, and it's telling me that it's 7.01 volts. Now, if I drop this down to 110, I got 6.37 volts, which is right on the ballpark for what the transformer was originally spec'd for. Okay, so that's the setup for a vintage transformer. Now I'm going to stop this video for a second, and I'm going to reset this up and use a modern transformer. Okay, I swapped the transformers out. This is a transformer I had laying around. It's probably 10 or less years old. It's a typical transformer that you might find listed on CE distribution. American-made transformer. Could be made by Magnetic Components, could be a Hammond, I'm not sure, but it's definitely less than 10 years old. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this one on. Start off at about 121 volts. There we go. Okay, so now the filament windings are giving us 6.9 volts, let's call it. Okay, now I'm going to wind this down to approximately 110 volts. There you go, 6.29 volts, which is right in the ballpark with what it should be, proving the point that the older transformers and the newer transformers are wound the same. And the newer ones do not take into account the higher voltage, unless you buy one that way, and most transformers don't come that way. They are available, but this one is not that, and this is a very common transformer. It came out of it's the size for like a deluxe reverb, a replacement transformer. So there you have it, folks.